Welcome student, welcome to your YouTube channel Chemistry Table. As I told in the previous so many videos, if you want to get good marks in your board examination, start the chemistry as early as possible. If you start 2 to 3 months ago of your board examination, you just memorize something. So this memorization will not help you to get the good marks, because in chemistry we have so many concepts. If you memorized, you can solve partial number of question, not all. So if you want to attempt all the question, I'll assure you, start watching the video from this YouTube channel, because I uploaded so many chapters, so many videos strictly based on board pattern. This teaching way, question answer writing, everything I already uploaded in the previous chapters, strictly based on your board pattern. You can check the shorts portion also. I uploaded in the shorts portion how to write down the answer. Most of the students know the answer of the question, but how to represent the structure, how to represent the answer to get the full marks of that question. Most of the students know the answer, but they will not get the full marks. How to get the full marks? Already I uploaded in long form, that is in video, as well as in shorts. You can watch. As well as I uploaded some model answers, how to write down the answer in board paper to get the full marks. So all these strategy uploaded, you can check in shorts as well as the long videos. And in this YouTube channel, I uploaded everything and will also upload strictly based on the board pattern. So this is our ongoing chapters, acids, bases and salts. In it is part 12 video. Think in that part, in that chapter we already uploaded 11 videos. This is 12 and so many video will come on that chapter. So I don't want to miss a single point, because if your target is 100% marks and if you read suggestive portion, never you will get the full marks. Suggestion help you to cross the pass mark, not to get 100% marks. So in not only this chapter, previously uploaded chapter, everywhere I uploaded everything. That's why for a single chapter we need so many parts. So start watching all the chapters from this YouTube channel one by one parts. I will assure you, as an ICSE school teacher, you will definitely get 100% marks. But after not only watching, after watching, prepare your self note. Okay? And later I will start obviously question answer series, but first try to complete the chapters. If you have the whole concept, no, it is not required to solve 100 questions. If you have a base of the concept from each and every chapters, if you solve few question, that is only helpful. If you don't have the concept, but if you will try to solve more than 100 to 1000 question, it is not actually the good way to get the good marks. So first clear the chapters, then if you want, then you can solve question answer. I will uploaded question answer based on previous year in-text question and the questions from the some other school, ICSE CBSE schools, topic related to that acid, bases and salt. I will uploaded the test question that is already came in test examination, that is P board. I will upload that question, previous and so many questions. So don't worry about it. First complete your concept from a chapter. Later you can solve the question answer. If you have the concept, you can easily solve the question answer. Okay. So now this part. Today we will start properties of bases. Properties of the bases means we have two type of properties. First type is physical properties, comparatively less important, and main is chemical properties. So properties means two properties, physical as well as chemicals. So our first heading is properties. Subheading is, note down everything properly. Subheading is physical properties. physical properties. So now in physical properties, first the taste. What is the taste of base? Keeping in your mind the taste of the base is bitter. So it is sharp and bitter. Okay. So it is not advisable. Listen properly. Suppose teacher give you a container, okay, and you taste the solution present in the container, and if it is bitter, that is base. No, you cannot confirm in this way, that is by tasting, because it is generally not advisable to taste the chemicals, because in lab everything is generally contaminated form. Suppose using a single dropper, one student take acids, another student using the same dropper take base. So in contaminated form, so it is not advisable to taste everything in the lab. So taste of the base is bitter, but it is not advisable to taste the base in lab. Now, so my question is how to identify. This is the identification process, but we cannot do because it is not advisable to taste. So what is the process to identification? What is the process to identify a base? Using indicator. Using indicator. As I told in previous video, what is an indicator? Indicator is a complex chemical or complex substances that changed its color sharply in acidic or in basic medium. So indicator, in simple word, indicator is a compound that change its color based on the pH of the medium, that is basic or acidic. Indicator give the, suppose yellow color in basic medium changes to pink in basic medium. So color changes in acidic and basic medium, this is called indicator. Now keeping in your mind, this is most important point, indicator litmus paper. Litmus paper, color. So what is the color of litmus paper? Red to blue. Red to blue. So color in base. So keeping in your mind, what is written? Color in base. So litmus paper, what is the color of litmus paper? Is blue, that is turns to blue from red in basic medium. So suppose if I'll give a container, in this container suppose base is there, base is present. Suppose if you give a litmus paper turns to blue, because in basic medium litmus paper turns to blue. So it is the first indicator. Second indicator is methyl orange. Second indicator is methyl orange. Methyl orange. So from the name it is very clear what is the color of this methyl orange. It is orange. So the methyl orange converted to yellow in basic medium. So converted to yellow in basic medium. And most important third indicator is phenolphthalein. Now give focus to the spelling of phenolphthalein. Look at the board. Phenol, PH, phthalene. Phenolphthalein. Now generally the color of phenolphthalein is colorless, but in basic medium phenolphthalein converted to pink. So keeping in your mind what is the color of the indicator in the basic medium. Okay, now give focus. Suppose this is a base present in a container. In this base, that is solution of base, can anyone tell me what is the name when any base soluble? It's called alkali. No? So it is alkali, that is soluble base. In this soluble base, if you give any one of these, that is any one of the indicator, it will show its corresponding color? No. But my question is, if the base is insoluble, if you give the particle of the base into the liquid but it is insoluble, so keeping in your mind most important line, insoluble bases do not have any color change or any sharp color change in the medium. Okay, so if I'll give a base that is insoluble, then there is no effect of color change, that is there is no effect of indicator. So keeping in your mind, in that cases, that is in first three cases, base must be alkali. Base must be alkali means base must be soluble. Insoluble, then there is no effect of color, that is indicator. Clear? Okay. Now it is done. So our first point test, second point indicator done. Okay, done. Now third point. Note down it in your own language, in your own way. It is better. If you try to use bombastic word, very hard word, no, not required. In board, your copy must be simple. It is not your language paper. So use the general word, note down everything in your simple word, simple language, in your own way, just to understand. Understand the concept is important rather than memorize. Okay, now look at the board. Third, second done, third. Okay, look at the board. Suppose I'll give you a base. When base reacts with oil, give focus. When any base, what is oil? I'll tell later. First, clear the first line. When any base reacts with oil, it will create soap or slippery effect. Soap or slippery effect. Okay. That's why if you will go to the lab and take a base like NaOH, this base in solid form, it is bead. Small beads are available in lab, that is the small beads of NaOH are available in lab. So if you take a small beads, that is small particles, small beads, if you take in hand, that is in between the two fingers, okay, rub it slowly. Oil means our skin produce a oil, no, our skin produce some oils. When this base come contact with the oil of our skin, then it will form soap. It will form soap. So that's why whenever you take some base in between the two finger, you will see some slippery effect, because the base react this oil of our skin and form soap. That is why we will feel slippery effect. Understand? So if I'll ask what is the nature of the base, you can tell soapy or slippery. Do you understand? So this is very important question. Also you can check several question answer from the exercise. That question already there in the exercise or in text question, very important question. What is the question? Why the base forms slippery nature when it will come contact with our skin? Because all of you know, when your answer is when base come contact with the oil that produced from our skin, create soapy or slippery nature. That's why when any base come contact with the oil of our skin, then it create soapy or slippery effect. Done. Okay. So I mention here only sodium hydroxide, but here it is written base, not only sodium hydroxide, any base, but it is generally available in lab. That's why it is written. Okay. Now third, sorry, third done, fourth. Okay, tell me the name of the common base. Already told, NaOH. It is generally available in lab. So all of you know it will dissociate to form two ions. One is cation, another is anion. So sodium plus, that is Na plus, and OH minus. Now tell me, it is good conductor of electricity, that is strong electrolytes or weak electrolytes? Several times I told, if any object or any compound cleavage to form ions, and always ion conducts electricity. Ion conducts electricity or heat. Since it will form ion, so bases generally are good conductor of electricity as well as strong electrolyte. What is strong electrolyte? Strong electrolyte means, see this arrow, strong electrolyte means cleavage only, but if it is weak electrolytes like sodium hydroxide, it will cleavage NH4 plus OH minus, again they join and come back, see the arrow. So it is weak and it is strong. So strong electrolytes means only cleavage, that is 100% dissociation, and there is called partial dissociation. Okay, done. Now, but so 4 point we already completed. Last point in physical properties. As I told at the first point, it is not advisable to taste any base that's available in lab generally. Whenever any base, if come contact with your skin, in maybe third point I told, it will create a slippery effect like soap. But it is also not advisable to take some bases in your, I mean in between to your finger, or it is not advisable to put your finger or anything into the basic solution. Why? Because generally base is corrosive in nature. Base is, fifth point, corrosive in nature, that is it will slightly burn your skin. So base will slightly burn your skin. What is the meaning of corrosive? That is burn. Okay, burn your skin. So according to our syllabus, we have these 5 points of physical properties completed. So now we have the second part, that is chemical properties. So now give heading. This chemical property is important for your board examination. Chemical properties. Okay, now chemical properties. In the chemical properties, we have several number of reactions. That is why it is important. Look at the board first. Keeping in your mind any, okay, first give you heading. What is the heading? Reaction between strong base plus carbon dioxide. This is your heading. Reaction between strong base and carbon dioxide. Now first revise one thing from the previous video. As I told in previous video, whenever any carbonate, see what is the name? Calcium carbonate. Whenever there is any carbonate, it will form carbon dioxide. See, it is visible, CO2. So carbonate after heating will form carbon dioxide. So in this case, whenever we have any base, it will react with carbon dioxide. Look at the board. Carbonate will form carbon dioxide, and again carbon dioxide back to carbonate. Here carbon dioxide no present, so it will convert it to carbonate, but sodium is here, so that's why sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Do you understand? Carbonate will produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will produce carbonate. Carbon dioxide is here, sodium is here, so sodium carbonate. Do you understand? Along with it will form water. So it is common. It is from water. So now pause the video here and solve this reaction. Pause the video here and solve the reaction. What is the answer? As I told, carbon dioxide, so carbonate will form. Potassium is present, so potassium carbonate along with water. This is one answer. Done. These two are the reaction under the heading of reaction between strong base and carbon dioxide. Now our second heading under chemical properties. Okay. Now our second subheading, reaction between strong base plus acid. Strong base and acid. Okay. Or you can take normal, that is weak base also. That is the reaction between base and acid. Okay, look at the board. Suppose calcium hydroxide. OH means base, so it is a base. React with HCl. So all of you know, when base reacts with acid, it will form water plus salt only. This what is important, I already discussed in the previous part. Water and salt. So now try to find out the water. See, here H2O, so water. Now salt. See, H2O, this portion already done. Ca and Cl left. So salt means calcium chloride. Formula is CaCl2. Okay. Is it right? Tell me, CaCl calcium chloride. Is it correct? Answer is no. Why? Because charge of calcium is 2 plus. Cl is -1. All of you know the crisscross method. Since it is 2 plus, so 2 come here. That is Cl2. And here 1 come here. So CaCl2. CaCl2 is the correct formula. So now again pause the video here and solve it. Okay, now keeping in your mind, this equation is not balanced. See how many chlorine here, left hand side, any other chlorine? Only 1, but here 2. So balance it. If you give 2, so 2 chlorine done. Okay, now how many hydrogen here? 2, and here also 2, so 4. So give 2 here, 4 hydrogen. Now what is the number of oxygen here? Whole 2, so 2, so oxygen 2. Calcium 1, so balanced. So balancing is not important. First obviously it is important, but in the sense of first understand the reaction, find out the products, then later you can balance it. Okay, now this ferrous hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid. Solve it. Solve it. What is the answer? So all of you know, written already. It is base plus acid. So acid plus base form water. Done. Now salt. Water means H2O done. So FeCl left. FeCl. Now tell me, can anyone tell me here in this compound, that is in this base, what is the charge of iron, 2 plus or 3 plus? All of you know in crisscross method, look at the board. In previous that case already I told, Ca2 plus Cl minus, so 2 come here, 1 come here. Look at the board. Since here 2 is present, so 2 means previously 2 present at the power of the calcium. That is why 2 is here. So previously it was 2 present at the power of the calcium. Since here 2, So actually 2 present at the power. So it is the correct, it is wrong. So here Fe2 plus. So Fe2 plus when react with Cl, Fe2 plus react with Cl minus. So 2 come here, 1 come here. So FeCl2, name is ferrous chloride. Do you understand? So these two reactions are important whenever any base, calcium hydroxide, ferrous hydroxide, when react with any acid, produce the water and salt. What is the important question in these aspects? Question is, when calcium hydroxide react with hydrochloric acid, water will form along with a salt X. Identify the salt X. This type of question. Okay, so our second type is done. Now, third and most important of today's class, most important reaction is third reaction. Third reaction. Third reaction heading is reaction between salt of heavy metals and that is reaction between salt and heavy metal and base. So look at the board first. So reaction between salts of heavy metal, important, and base. Okay, try to understand. Heavy metals means having high molecular weight. Heavy metals. You can take copper. Copper, what is the atomic number of copper? 29. You can take zinc, 30. You can take aluminium. No, you can take, okay, you can take aluminium, I'll tell later. You can take iron also. You can take aluminium also, I'll tell later. First take these three, because I will discuss everything according to board syllabus. These first three are important. Later I will take more than more than 3 elements. First I try to discuss these 3, later I will take another 3. Okay, so heavy metal means you can take copper, zinc and iron, but not only heavy metal, salt of heavy metal. Salt means copper sulfate, zinc sulfate, ferrous sulfate, all are salt. Do you understand? But so salt of heavy metal does react with base. So you can take ammonium hydroxide, you can take sodium hydroxide. Why? Ammonium hydroxide is base, means any type, either weak or strong, any base. So it is weak base, it is strong base, you can take any type of base, no problem. Okay, so done. But this reaction is very, very important for your coming board examination. Why? One common question generally come from this section. What is the question? First listen, later I will give the question. First listen the question. When copper sulfate reacts with a base, an insoluble compound will form. Identify this insoluble compound or identify the precipitate. Precipitate means insoluble compound. Look at the board. Suppose it is a conical flax. Insoluble means that will, after the reaction, it will form precipitate. Short form of precipitate is PPT. Precipitate. It is insoluble. That is why it is settled down at the bottom of the container. Settle down. It is called precipitate, that is insoluble salt. Keeping in your mind, very, very important point, keeping in your mind, whenever any heavy metals, salt of heavy metals, whenever any salt of heavy metals react with base, it will always produce a precipitate of metallic hydroxide. Look at the board. Reaction between salt of heavy metals, that is these 3, and bases, different kind of bases produce a precipitate of what? Metallic hydroxide. So now it is easy. Why? Look at the board. Heavy metal react with base, it will form what? Metallic hydroxide. Tell me which one is metal? Copper. So copper. So copper hydroxide, right? COH whole twice. So this is the precipitate. Do you understand? So this is the answer. Now, so copper done. See, copper hydroxide means OH done. So which two are left? Ammonium sulfate. So ammonium sulfate is formed. It is not important. NH4 SO4. NH4 whole 2 SO4. So now look at the board. Why this formula is like NH4 whole twice? Because see, NH4 is plus, SO4 2 minus. So 2 come here, 1 come here. So NH4 whole twice SO4. Do you understand? Okay. Now, so do you understand when heavy metal react with base form metallic hydroxide? Okay, the color is important here. The color is pale blue, that is light blue. Now here tell me, it is also heavy metal when zinc react with base, that is heavy metallic salt react with base, produce what? Metallic hydroxide. Now here metal is zinc. So zinc hydroxide. Now zinc done, hydroxide done. Which two are left? Sodium and sulfate. So sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. Now what is the color of this? Actually it is white, but gelatinous white. Gelatinous white. This color are important. Okay. Why? This type of question generally will come. Copper sulfate when react with base, insoluble compound with form. Identify this insoluble compound, 1 marks. What is the color of this insoluble compound? Another 1 marks. So color and this compound, name of the compound, copper hydroxide, zinc hydroxide, all are important. Now last, pause the video and try to solve it. Metallic hydroxide, metal is iron and Fe. So FeOH whole twice. So Fe done, OH done, Na and SO4 left. So Na2SO4. Now what is the color of this? Ferrous hydroxide is dirty green. Dirty green. Don't write only green. Actually it is deep green, looking like dirty green. So these three are very, very important. Now, okay, I'll give another 3 as I told. So all of you understand this? Okay, now another 3. In the previous 3, give a second bracket. Now the another 3. Suppose I'll take aluminium sulfate, Al2SO4 whole 3, aluminium sulfate. Zinc sulfate, already taken. No, in previous case zinc sulfate was there. No, in the first 3, yes. Give focus. In first 3 cases we choose 3 heavy metal. First is copper sulfate, zinc sulfate and ferrous sulfate. That is copper, zinc, iron. So we already done copper, zinc, iron. It is done already. But again we take aluminium sulfate, again take zinc. Why? I'll tell later. And now next is lead sulfate, PbSO4. Okay. So here we have the another answer. Okay, tell me, these all are also heavy metal. So copper, zinc, iron, aluminium, zinc, lead. These total 5, because zinc common, these total 5 are heavy metals. According to our syllabus, it is given. Now tell me, generally question will come in your coming board examination based on these 5. Okay, no extra compound. It's need not to be memorized the extra compound. Okay, just memorize this 5. Now look at the board. So as I told, heavy salt when react with base, so heavy salt aluminium sulfate react with base, it will form metallic hydroxide. Here metal is aluminium, so aluminium hydroxide, AlOH whole thrice, color is white. Okay, now zinc already done, zinc hydroxide, here lead hydroxide. Okay, but problem is that in these three cases, that is the second portion, in these three cases, these all three precipitate will dissolve. Look at the board. Precipitate means that is settled down at the bottom of the container, that is precipitate. So when they will react with base, precipitate will form. But if we have the excess base, then all the precipitate will soluble, that is no precipitate will be there. Do you understand or not? So first precipitate will form, but if you will give excess base, then all the precipitate will dissolve. For example, suppose zinc hydroxide form. Zinc is common, no? So I choose this zinc. Zinc hydroxide will form. Now if you give excess base, NaOH, excess, then these, it is actually precipitate, PPT, precipitate, these will soluble and form sodium zincate. What is the name? Sodium zincate. Now along with water, you can write, water is not important, along with water. So try to understand, when this precipitate react with excess base, it will form zincate, sodium zincate, because sodium is present. If you since you take sodium hydroxide, so sodium zincate. How to write down the formula of the sodium zincate? Look at the board. Sodium, so first write Na2, zinc, Zn, for oxygen O2, so Na2 ZnO2. Now tell me, if aluminium hydroxide react with excess base, so if aluminium hydroxide react with excess base, then it will form sodium aluminate. I rub it here and show the reaction to you. So look at the board. What is the precipitate form in case of aluminium? Aluminium hydroxide. If it will react with excess base, it will form what? First, in case of zinc, Na2ZnO2. So in case of aluminium, Na2AlO3. O3. Why? Because zinc is 2 plus. Look at the board. Zinc 2, so 2 come here. Aluminium is 3, so 3 come here. It is called sodium zincate, sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate. So now last one is lead hydroxide. It will form sodium plumbiate, because the another name, Latin name of lead is plumbium. Source name is plumbium, so it is called sodium plumbiate. Do you understand? Okay, so what is the reaction? PbOH whole twice. These all are precipitate, but when react with excess base, it will form this sodium plumbiate or plumbite, sodium plumbite. Okay, so these all are soluble. Initially it was insoluble. In presence of excess base, they will form soluble salt. Do you understand? Okay, done. Now, so revise one more time. If we have heavy metallic salt, when it will react with base, it will form, precipitate of metallic hydroxide. That is this previous point. Heavy metallic salt produce metallic hydroxide when react with base. Done. So now fourth reaction, maybe fourth reaction. Fourth reaction is reaction between ammonium salt and bases. Any bases, weak, irrespective of weak base or strong base. Now ammonium salt. Tell me the name of any ammonium salt. Ammonium salt. What is the formula of ammonium? NH4 plus. So ammonium salt means NH4 plus. So add any minus, that is Cl minus. All of you know Cl is always minus. Any halogen is minus, that is halide is minus. So NH4 plus Cl minus. So ammonium salt is NH4Cl. React with what? React with a base, NaOH. Now keeping in your mind, when any ammonium salt react with base, always produce ammonia gas. It is common. So in previous case, heavy metal produce metallic hydroxide as a precipitate, but if ammonium salt is there, common answer is always ammonium gas. Do you understand? Along with water will form, but it is not important. Main object is ammonia gas. What is the smell of ammonia gas? Pungent or rotten egg? Answer is pungent smell. Now done. So tell me the main salt. These two are the, not two, this is the important main point. But along with ammonia and water, one salt will produce. Tell me the name of salt. Easy. Ammonia, NH3, done. Water from here, done. You can ask me, sir, how it will possible to form H2O? See, ammonia, NH3, one H is left, one H and another H, so H2O, water. See, sodium is here and chlorine, these two are left. So salt is NaCl. Do you understand? Again, one more time. Here NH3, one hydrogen is left. This hydrogen and this OH. So H and OH from water, NaCl left. Do you understand? So this is the first reaction. Now second reaction. Tell me another ammonium salt. You can take ammonium. Always you have to take first ammonium, NH4, and after NH4 plus add any minus, ammonium sulfate. But one problem is here. Charge of ammonium ion is NH4 plus, but sulfate is 2 minus. So crisscross. So actual formula is NH4 whole twice. Now ammonium salt done, react with base. So choose any base, suppose calcium hydroxide. Various type of base I will try to give. Why? Because then you can understand the actual concept. Now tell me, ammonium salt done, bases done. Now we have two common answer, ammonia and water. Close your eyes and write down these two answers. It is common answer. But one salt will produce. See here, ammonia from here done. This portion ammonia, here water done. So calcium and sulfate left. So your answer is CaSO4. Do you understand? Okay, this is our answer. Calcium sulfate. Clear? Okay. Now another, pause the video, choose whole reaction. How? Ammonium salt, ammonium is NH4 plus. So first take NH4 plus, beside it write any minus, write any base and try to write down your answer. So ammonium, again take ammonium sulfate or ammonium chloride you can take. This already taken, ammonium chloride. You can give calcium hydroxide done, sodium hydroxide done, give another potassium hydroxide, anything, potassium hydroxide. So tell Two common answer. Water, salt. What is, which one is left? KCl. So KCl is, so the basic concept is this one, not that one. Ammonium salt base always produce common two answer, ammonia plus water. Now find out the salt from here. Generally last portion and the first portion, last first, last and first portion generally. So this is all about our today's class. This last 3 and 4, these two reactions are very very important for your coming board examination. In reaction number 3, identify the precipitate. In reaction number 4, identify the gas evolved as well as the smell. What is the smell of this gas? Pungent smell. Do you understand? So revise the previous all 11 videos along with this 12 video. Make your own note, revise and revise. Not question answer, first theory. Question answer you can start practice after 4 to 5 months. First create your base. So revise your own. See, in that case I told, in third portion I told already, pause your video, make your own question and write down the answer. Make your own question also. Ammonium, first write ammonium NH4 plus. Beside it write any negative. Here Cl minus negative, SO4 2 minus negative, 2 minus means 2 come here. Okay, you can take PO4 3 minus, PO4 3 minus also, then 3 come here, NH4 whole thrice PO4, ammonium phosphate. So you can now are ready to make your own question also. This left hand side portion, right hand side 2 common answer, last one is salt. Do you understand? So it is all about our today's class. Next day I will come with the part 13 where I will discuss the uses of bases, pH scale, indicator, so many things, and I will start salts also. So see, one by one I will complete. This is acid completed, base is going on, and more or less more than 95% completed. Next day just uses and pH scale, and I will start salts. In salts we have also so many concepts. So prepare the previous part, and next day I will come with part 13. Thank you.